Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Happy Bringling. Namaste, and welcome to this episode of NRI Legacy Wednesday on Bringle Talks. And today is 24th September 2025. So let me first of all wish our today's speaker, Dr. Vinaya, a very, very happy birthday. Dr. Vinaya, very, very happy birthday today, and really a privilege to have your Bringle Talks getting live today, premiere today on your birthday.
Thank you.
And so let me just talk about a little bit more about her. I think she's still not happy. So I think her students has to make her happy now. So we will have some more discussions regarding that. But this series is all about, it's not just about a movement, but it's about turning a brain drain into a brain gain. And nothing but nobody better could be than Dr. Vinaya, who has helped more than 1 lakh children so far in her education experience. And she has got so many children going outside India and have being an NRIs right now. And the whole idea here is with this brain drain into brain gain is to helping NRIs worldwide not just return emotionally but come back richer with wealth and purpose. And there is no better person to launch this with me than my co-founder and dear partner in the journey, Dr. Vinaya. Wish you a very happy birthday once again, Dr. Vinaya.
Thank you, Anshu. As I said, thank you, sir, for this warm wishes. It's nice to be here on this wonderful day.
She's an educationist with 27 years of experience, a double psychologist, a principal and consultant to India's topmost schools like DPS and NPS, a CBSE resource person and a trainer of teachers across the country with Orient Black Swan and many other leading organizations. She's also the founder of Soulful Smiles, co-founder with Bringle, our preschool and after school initiatives in Bangalore, and through which we are launching our first 50 lakh rupees social venture fund, providing investors with both capital safety and sustainable passive income while sponsoring education for 100 plus underprivileged children in Varthur, Bangalore every year. Beyond this, she is the president-elect of Rotary Bangalore Jeevan Bima Nagar, the one who first introduced me to Rotary, where today I serve as Director of International Services. Together, we are building bridges, not just across communities, but across nations, so that NRIs everywhere can return to India's growth with wealth, pride, and purpose. We'll also talk about a little bit about the aspects of how we have taking the SKCKJ baton or Sone Ki Chidiya Ko Jagao baton to South Asian countries like Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh as well, and helping those kind of countries as well with this entire mission out there. But as I said, this is more about NRIs leaving India and brain drain which has happened, the wealth drain, and how we can make it as a gain for the country. So, Dr. Vinaya, at Soulful Smiles, our mission is to bring quality education to every child, regardless of the background. Through this 50 lakh social venture fund, investors can contribute with as little as 50,000 or 5,000 rupees per month for 12 months period. They get their capital back in 3 to 5 years, enjoy 10 to 20% of annual passive income till perpetuity. And at the same time, we are also sponsoring education for more than 100 privileged children every year. Uh, Being into education, there are a lot of people who have left India at this point in time and they have become NRIs after taking good quality education in India. And when we start this initiative of providing them the good education, where the financial sustainability is trying to meet the social transformation. How did you think about your journey as an educationist, inspiring this Soulful Smiles model, and how could we work towards the brain gain model with this venture fund?
To talk about it, firstly, thank you. Thank you for having me for this wonderful talk show. And yes, years of working through the classrooms have only taught me that education is quite a revolution. And I just saw that, as I always say, that a small word of encouragement can redirect a child's destiny. I do not know how many children out there I would have touched. I only get to know when they come back and say, "Ma'am, these were your statements, what you said." And also, I understood that how the lack of opportunity could dim them, or I'll say, would just shut them out and even though they have a brightest spark. Soulful Smiles was born from the awareness that a place from where a joy and a learning can meet each other, where every child feels seen, and where the families know that if their child is not that privileged, they know where they have to go. They are just supposed to be the partners in the children's dream, and also for those people who really look forward that they want to come and they want to do something back to the society, and also see and experience the same happiness and joy when a child says that you did this difference in my life. So that is how the Soulful Smiles inspired, and this model helps or would help lakhs of people ahead.
Perfect. I also want to understand, how does it feel to you when many of the Indians, in fact, India is having the number one diaspora. Around 14% of Indians are outside the country, and it's actually amounting to 3.2 crores. And they're doing everywhere, wherever they are doing the best, and they've taken the best of the education from India, and then they've gone abroad and probably taken further education, and even have jobs or doing their businesses out there. As an educator, how do you feel this transition which is happening, from leaving the country after taking the best of the education from here, and we focusing on the education, ultimately it is not serving the country as such. How do you feel about that perspective? What do you have to say on that?
See, it has, like, as we always say, everything has a two sides of a coin, are,
Mhm.
supposed to be seen as a two sides of a coin. It might look very this for us that the children are leaving from our country. I am happy very recently. Just today, just few minutes back, I happened to read a news which says that because of the change of which the Trump did, we are happy that now the Indians will think before going out, because they'll have to pay a huge amount and they might rather stay in their own country. It is a bittersweet and a pride, as what you can tell, both. It feels good when we see their success, so we rejoices very nicely. But knowing that also, it's good to see that Indian pieces, like, Indian children are there everywhere, all the people who have learned. And as an educator, it's a very happy moment. But yet, somewhere in the heart, I'll always wish for if more of them just stay back, or even if they have gone there, they feel that they have to think back about their own country, pull up to the reinvesting in their wisdoms, whatever they have, and the resources in the soil where they were born first, which has nurtured them.
Absolutely. And I think this is exactly what we are trying to bring in work with a Comeback Richer campaign of NRI Legacy. Comeback Richer is not just about you coming physically, because that might not be possible today. It may be possible 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 50 years down the line. Maybe it may not even happen for you. But the whole idea here is, how can you give it back to your own country with respect to wealth, prosperity, and the other education? And that is where the social venture fund, if you invest, or I would say the 10,000 crore dual fund model, if you invest just 10 lakh rupees, which is around 11,000 rupees, US dollars, which is probably your monthly salaries, most of you, and that could be easily, kind of contributed to the India's this, $1 billion fund, which will help 6,000 crores will be going to, investing in the Indian startups, funding the next 100 unicorns of India, which gives you 100x plus potential. Also, 40% will be going to the social venture funds, like what Dr. Vinaya and myself are now working upon in the Bangalore thing, which with us with the Soulful Smiles. Uh, the whole idea here is that, I think we will talk more about that in a little later. But tell me one thing, Dr. Vinaya, how do you see this social venture fund balancing returns for investors or NRIs with impact for children, and giving it back to the society, which can become a national example of wealth with purpose?
Hmm, I see that it's a channel. It's a channel for them, which can, um, which can actually bring up their choices or their wishes, that in spite of being far away, they are able to do something back to their own country or to their own roots, as we can say. And yes, uh, we have a lot, as you always keep saying, that demographic energy and an entrepreneurial spark over here. And this appetite of us as an India can actually reform every status and every form. So every rupee and every dollar which is placed today just not only will earn the return for them, but it will write their own country's future. And what they have gone through, I'm sure, staying far away from the country, which they wouldn't want anybody else, or I'll say their own children doing the same thing. They would want their children to be richer in their own country and stay happy in their own country. So they might at least start thinking and working upon that, that at least what they have faced, the next generation do not face it.
Absolutely. And I think, Rotary has been a big part of this journey too with us. And while you introduced me to Rotary, and today I proudly serve as Director International Services at Rotary Bangalore Jeevan Bhima Nagar, where you are the president elect for the same. For me, the role is about building global bridges between NRIs and Bharat. Uh, Rotary International Network is one of the strongest platforms for uniting Indians abroad with impact projects here at home. When I connect with Rotary members across the globe, I see the same longing to give back, to reconnect, to transform. And this is the heartbeat of NRI Legacy campaign as well. So, Dr. Vinay, what inspired you to bring yourself and, of course, me as well into Rotary? How do you see Rotary aligning with our vision of NRI legacy? And how could Rotary becoming a bridge for NRIs worldwide to channel their wealth and skills back to India?
Um, Me, in getting into Rotary, as always I said, I saw that I would pretty possible for me to reach out people at large. And Rotary, I understood, is a place for the people who dream big and act big. And you are already into that path. So I thought, why not? Why not just be the part of a Rotary? And for me, Rotary is just not a club, it's a living network of people who are doers. And for NRI Legacy, Rotary has a huge scaffolding needs. It has its own pluses, its credibility, reach, culture, service that complements everything, the spirit of entrepreneurship, etc. And Rotary actually, as I said, it stitches together all the professions from all the corner of the globe. So it's like kind of a ready-made pathway which is made for the NRIs, which is much more transparent, can be much more collaborative, deeply local in impact, but deeply rooted. Whether mentoring a young entrepreneurs or funding the programs, that is education programs or healthcare projects, or even doing the returns back. Rotary just means giving back simple and deeply fulfilling, or I'll say deeply impacting. So I feel that way. So it's just a language of belonging, because when we both speak language of belonging, so Rotary is equally about that. So as you say, come back richer invites NRI for a reconnect with purpose. Rotary is something which where goodwill can be turned into a measurable and a lasting impact and a change.
Lovely. So, Dr. Vinaya, you have dedicated your life to education, and many of your students are already now NRIs spread across probably USA, UK, Middle East, Canada, and maybe beyond. Education is where it all begins. If we can build the right education systems, we can not only prepare children to compete globally, but also inspire them to stay connected to India, to protect against brain drain. This is not just about teaching subjects, it's about instilling values of purpose, service, and belonging at a very early age. So, even when students go abroad, they feel responsible to bring their wealth, skills, and network back home. Uh, as someone who shaped the lives of thousands of students and being into the education industry, how do you feel when seeing so many of them now living abroad as NRIs? And do you believe that education at an early stage for awareness about India, maybe patriotism, you call it as motherland love or whatever, can play a major role in reducing the brain drain and inspiring NRIs to reconnect with the India's growth? And what message probably you would like to share with your former students who are now NRIs and would like already living Bharat?
As said, it's like a kind of eating a bitter gourd with a pride, saying that okay, it is a bitter thing, it's good for a health. I enjoy and I become very happy with their success, knowing that they are spread across the entire country and feel very proud about it. But I always feel that yes, they would come back because for me, education as in India, we do teach about India, we teach about being more Indian, etc., which is there in our curriculum, etc. But it's just doesn't shape the competencies, but also the concise. And I believe in that. When we have civic responsibility, we also have something called as empathy to the curriculum. So now the form of education has changed from back then to now. So we it's called as we create global citizens with the local heartbeat. So people who cross the oceans may remain anchored there at an idea of giving back to their own country, and I'm seeing it that it really happens. So the only message to all my dear students who are out there is every achievement of theirs is just a chapter in our country's story. Come home just not in a body, but in an intent. As a mentor, as an investor, as a collaborator, let your success be a fertilizer for the ground for someone else for a new beginning.
Wonderful, wonderful, Sharmila, Dr. Vinaya. And, this is why we launched the Comeback Richer campaign. Because if 1 lakh NRIs can just invest 10 lakh rupees each, as I said, $11,000, probably a monthly salary for many of you, we will be able to raise 10,000 crores. And that's a huge amount. The 6,000 crore can go into venture capital fund to fund the India's next 100 unicorns potential. And 4,000 crores can go for the social venture fund to build the 100 plus centers, for Sone ki Chidiya ko jagao centers like these for 10 to 20% of steady passive income while transforming skills, healthcare, and environment. This is a model that protects wealth, creates growth, and fuels purpose. It's how we turn brain drain into brain gain. It's how we ensure that when NRIs come back, they come back richer. So, Dr. Vinaya, why do you think NRI should see this moment as the best time to invest in Bharat? How does combining venture capital with social ventures make this fund both safer and meaningful for NRIs? And how do you see Soulful Smiles and education playing a role in inspiring NRIs to bring their wealth and purpose back to India?
As said earlier, as I just read today morning, India is standing in the crossroad of both ambitions and capability both. So we have a wonderful demographic of uh, young youth India, which is full of energy, and they really have a huge appetite to make something new. So I would just say them that it's a right time to return, and it's not just to invest, but it is also to earn a quite a return to make or to build in India's future. I see that it's like the both venture capitalist and the social venture. It is nothing but uh, you know I'll place it as two beautiful gardens placed in one place. So, while the venture capital helps us to cultivate high growth and businesses, where social venture ensures us to have a steady community service or harvest and good education or a health and skills. So, together they balance the risk and reward and responsibility, what we are looking forward as in Soulful Smiles. However, in Soulful Smiles is a living story of what happens when compassion, I'm sure, like we really came up with a huge compassion of being there for those children who couldn't get the schooling and their purposes. So living story of what happens when compassion meets a structure. And it shows that if NRIs and their investments don't need to be an abstract numbers, they can become a child's first book, staying even far away in their own country. Maybe they can become a teacher's salary, or they can also become as a classroom roof. That emotional I'll say connect with the NRIs will help them to transform their giving into just not giving, but it actually a mean of a legacy.
Uh, Dr. Vinay, I want to bring up another point. I think you're sharing a beautiful example of Soulful Smiles. And I really want to tell our audience how we thought about Soulful Smiles and how much we struggled, and probably even struggling now. With different operational challenges, though, but there were other financial challenges we faced because people didn't believe initially that this kind of a center could be, probably running at this point in time. And I remember we were looking for investors, and not many people were kind of getting trusted upon, or they were coming back. And I remember you telling me, Ansha, don't worry, I will sell my gold, I will put my gold on, onto that, and I will get these things done. I will make sure that we'll take up the center and work towards this entire bringing Soulful Smiles. So tell me something more about your journey, emotionally, personally, financially. What had been there, and what was your inspiration behind starting up this school, even after among so many challenges? You're on mute.
Sorry. Yes, as rightly said, soulful smiles, like any other education trust or something, wasn't born in a boardroom. It was born in the quiet moments of struggle, quiet moments of thoughts, quiet moments of, constantly going back and forth. And I still remember those eyes which filled up, which dulled and weight with the circumstances which we never chose. We never thought that we're going to have something like that. And at the same time, that urge as an educator, since then, I always wanted to make sure that this could run and this could happen, irrespective of whatever risk that I had to take, or whatever risk you had to take. So we put both together. I'm grateful that you stood there and supported and was being there, and because I wanted to do this, and eventually it became that we wanted to do it. The seed of Soul's Full Smiles was born. It is just not a preschool or an after school program, but it's just a promise that I think we would have chosen to, between a survival and an education. And I wanted to place where their laughter grows, and a part of curriculum where parents feel like partners, and where children discover their dreams, etc. So it doesn't meant for me when it's I did see when it was kind of disturbed or going away, or uncertainty of entrepreneurship. There were nights where I doubted myself. There were mornings, the numbers, especially, which didn't add up. The days when the vision felt too big for my reach or my resources or my hand. Got into a lot of financial, I'll say, a risk involved. But each time, whenever we walked into a center, or I'll say whenever I walked into a center, I heard of those sounds. I thought about those reading, those singing, and those simply smiling faces without a fear, where I know that these things would be going on. So it's just not a project, but it's a moment which we had thought together, powered with every volunteer or every investor who would come forward, who would believe in education, who wanted to light up every corner of that particular thought moment itself. So it was my way, and thanks for supporting that entirely, and today completely taking it over and standing it for. So it is a way where we were looking forward to honor a lot of students who crossed our path, and also ensure that the next generation doesn't only get to learn the lessons, but also learns how to love the learning. So the laughter spilling into that particular small center where many people come and say that, oh, this is really good, that happiness in the heart brings, or those smile comes. So as a leader, as a creator, as a compassionate citizen, I'll just say that it was something in making, and that is a soul of soulful smile, and I'm sure that it is having a quite potential to turn something impossible into possible, because it is says I am possible.
Lovely, lovely, Dr. Vinay. And I think I remember those tough times, not just financially, but operationally as well. And the way we have transformed this school from a completely loss making to almost nearing break even at this point in time. And how we have been able to sustain without that lot of challenges which we did. Just to perspective, there are a lot of people now which are a lot of investors who are coming up, or donators, whatever you call them. They're coming up, and they're coming up with their support at this point in time, seeing the progress. We've also received almost 20 applications from the underprivileged children out there, anywhere from the age of 2 to 6 years or 7 years of age. And they're waiting for the education, the right education. And that is why we are looking at starting up these classes somewhere around Diwali or probably post Diwali. And we are looking to raise around 10 lakh rupees immediately, out of which we have got around 50% of the commitment so far. But we are looking at more amounts so that we can get these 20 children's training education started immediately within the next 1 or 2 months time. Over a period of time, maybe by January or something, we will be looking at raising the entire 50 lakh rupees for this social venture fund, so that we can provide education, free education to 100 plus underprivileged children, starting from April, May, June. And that is the whole perspective, is what we are looking at by providing that education. The beautiful part of this is that we will be applying to many social organizations for the grants, CSRs and stuff like that, which will eventually give a profit generated out of this, which will be putting it back to the other social impact projects, or given it back to the investors basis on their equity percentage on these models. So that is how this model becomes a very self-sustainable cash flow model. After this, we'll be starting up another center model, but that will be a series 2 discussion. For the series 1 as well, for the venture capital fund, there is a around 25 lakh rupees is investment we are further raising to complete our first 12 startup investments. We've already invested in 8 startups, committed to two more startups, almost 10. We had invested in all, another 2 as well, but we have withdrawn our decision and, the investments from them. And that is why we are adding up more. So there will be around 25 lakh rupees of investment, which we are looking at to raise. And maybe maximum by around, 30th of September. And every investor who is going to invest here, they are going to get a 9x of bonus shares if they apply before 30th of September. So this is what one of the biggest benefit you are getting in. You are actually getting a 10x returns at the time of investment itself. The minimum ticket size of the venture capital fund is 5 lakh rupees, and the minimum investment for the social venture fund is 50,000 rupees. Both has its own benefits. You can combine both of these things and get into this. So, without moving for, just not taking too much of time for everyone, I just want to know one last question from you, Dr. Vinaya, for this talk today. How do you see Soulful Smiles and education playing a special role in inspiring NRIs to bring their wealth and purpose back to India? How will they really feel that they are connected back to their country, their own motherland, maybe their own families?
That saying, I'll answer that very quickly and shortly, as you said, without taking much time. And that would be, it is just a living example. It would be a living example for them if they want to really support and be very thoughtful about their finances. And these finances will change lives. When NRIs will see how this small fund can transform education for hundreds of children, I'm sure they will realize that their resources could empower much more than that. So they can only become a bridge between the success which they've got abroad, and they can actually leave a legacy over here in back in their home. So if they really want to build up a legacy, it's this is the right time for these NRIs to come and give their legacies back to their own country.
Thank you so much, Dr. Vinaya. And I think a message for all of you, do it as fast as possible because the time is now. The clock is ticking. We have to serve at least 20 children by Diwali, is what we are looking at. So do reach out to us. Click the link below in the description and we will have a one-on-one call, non-obligatory either side. So Dr. Vinaya, thank you for being the founder of Soulful Smiles and working with me and giving me this opportunity to live the dream of education, to the entire providing education to the country. But uh, you are not just the founder, but you are also the partner in building dreams with purpose. Your journey from classrooms to Rotary, from writing an anthem to launching social ventures is a proof that education and service can create legacies. To every NRI watching there, many of you studied in India under teachers like Dr. Vinaya. Many of you have left, and India lost the first 100 unicorns to foreign investors. But today, you can come back richer, financially, emotionally, and purposefully. We have built the platform, we have created the fund. Now it's your turn to bring back your wealth, pride, and purpose to Bharat. This is our chance to true Ghar Wapsi. This is our chance for NRI legacy. This is our chance to build wealth with purpose and transform Bharat into a startups and skills capital of the world. So download the Comeback Richer ebook, click the link below in the description and the comments, subscribe to Bringle Talks YouTube channel, and join the global NRI investors community. Together, let's come back richer. So let's speak loud. जगाओ जगाओ हर घर तिरंगा के साथ हर घर
So
सोने की चिड़िया को जगाओ. Let's awaken the golden bird hidden inside each of you. Rise and shine and transform into a leader. Let's keep spreading the Bringle dream wave and motivate others to pass it on. Thank you so much. Keep bringing, keep growing.
thank you.